I see the value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
This shop looks popular today. Wonder what the occasion is. Butterfly Dew Cosmetics now on sale. Looks like it. Oh, Sigewinne's here too. Hey there, Sigewinne!
Hello there, Traveler and Paimon. I hope you're keeping yourselves fit and healthy.
You bet we are. So anyway, what are you doing here, Sigewinne?
The Duke insists I take regular vacations in the court of Fontaine. This one just so happened to coincide with a promotion for a new skincare product, so I came over to take a look. I like to keep up with the latest industry developments when I can, to help me with my magazine articles.
Wait, you write? For a...
It's called Beautés en Fleur, and it's run by the Fontaine Beauty Association. I've done lots of articles about skincare for them.
Oh, wow! You're a maritime flower? If Paimon's not mistaken, you're one of the leading figures in the Fontaine Beauty Association! What's so weird about that? Everyone loves beauty!
I really like this role. The staff at cosmetic shops are always so polite. And as long as I wear a big smile on my face,
Well, they sure don't want to make an enemy of the maritime flower! Obviously, it's because of Sigewinne's love for beauty. Still a leader of the Beauty Association?
The truth is, I study this field because I cherish my own appearance. It has nothing to do with being beautiful or not.
Oh, the words of a master beautician defy comprehension! Oh, wait, you're saying...
Not really. Actually, Melusine aesthetics are very different from human ones. We don't view humans based on their appearance. If I had to describe our approach, I'd say it's based on cuteness.
Oh! Really?
Yep. Still, I really value my current appearance, and in the process of taking care of it, I've ended up learning quite a lot. It turns out, my knowledge and experience is pretty popular with beauty product lovers.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. But speaking of your appearance, how come you look human anyway? Are you like only half Melusine? Ooh, wait, sorry. That was probably really offensive, wasn't it?
No, I don't mind. I'm not mixed, though. I made a decision to turn myself into this form. If you're interested, I could tell you the story.
A shape-shifting story? Oh, heck yeah, of course we're interested!
Once upon a time, long ago, humans rejected Melusines, and Melusines feared humans. There was one Melusine who became fascinated with human medicine, but no human wanted her help. And there was one girl who liked Melusines, so no humans would make friends with her. So, the Melusine became the girl's friend, and the girl became the Melusine's patient. Your checkup's all done. You are still in perfect health. Thank you, Dr. Melusine. In this game of doctor and patient, a friendship was born. Then, one day, the girl fell ill. The Melusine was the only doctor to arrive on time, but the adults sent her away.
Scram! Melusines can't be trusted!
So just because I'm not human, I can't save my best friend? In desperation, the Melusine approached the frightening witch. She begged and begged until she got a reply.
If you take this potion, concocted of sin, you will gain a human face and grow human limbs. But then, you will lose everything that attracted this friend of yours to you in the first place. Can you accept that?
The Melusine did not hesitate for very long. On a rainy night, a little doctor knocked on the girl's door. The doctor wore a hood and raincoat, maybe to protect her from the rain, but maybe also to hide a secret. The little doctor held the girl's hand and treated her illness, just as she had so many times before. Dawn came, and the little girl's condition improved. But the little doctor was long gone, for she knew her friend would never recognize her again. And so, since then, I've lived my life in human form. Most people who know me just think I was born this way.
Ooh, a witch? A potion?
Trust me, it's a true story.
Must be the way you told it then. It just sounds so... yeah. Not every Melusine would take human form to save their human friend. That must have been a...
Treating patients is a doctor's duty. We must always find a way, even when the going gets tough.
Ugh. It's so crazy that they turned you away just because you were a Melusine. Especially when their daughter was so sick.
Well, sometimes appearance can be a real barrier. But that was a long time ago.
Paimon too! You're super cute this way.
Attention customers! Thank you all for waiting. Now, on behalf of our skincare partner, I'm delighted to announce that our exciting new product...
Well, there we go. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, Paimon, if you want to buy any skincare product...
Really? Personal advice right from a leader of the Fontaine Beauty?
Allow me to introduce our newest skin lotion, Butterfly Dew. I'm sure many of you have already read about this product. To say that it improves skin quality is an understatement. This product gets its name from the way it transforms your skin and makes it glow. We are thrilled to have the inventor of this fantastic product with us here today. Please welcome Mr. Rawat, a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Rawat, and I developed Butterfly Dew.
Wow, what a looker. He's a researcher? Wow, he's really challenging the stereotype.
It seems that everyone is surprised by my entrance. Or should I say, I'm well aware that researchers are generally better known for their brains than their dashing good looks. In that regard, I do believe I break... Of course, appearance is a skin-deep way of defining a person. And yet one's appearance can be a very real set of shackles, holding a person back in their life. It can rob a young person of their self-confidence when applying for a job, dissuade a young lady from approaching the one she loves. Our actions are at the mercy of our appearance, and we slowly become the very person... But what if I told you that those shackles can be broken? If our appearance prevents us from changing, then let us first change our appearance itself. Wash away moles, birthmarks, and wrinkles, and they can no longer rob us of our confidence. Replace them with luster and radiance, and we shall... That is why Butterfly Dew exists. Its mission is to allow us to shed our pupae, undergo a complete metamorphosis, and embrace a new life.
Well, whether it actually works or not, after that speech...
Mr. Rawat,
Of course, I tried it many times while I was testing it. You can consider me a product
Wow, then it's sure to work.
Still, I don't expect to convince you just by blowing my own trumpet. So,
Oh, Paimon volunteers!
Oh! Ah, what an honor! It appears we have a giant of the Fontaine Beauty Association here with us. In that case, Miss Sigewinne.
Sure.
Whoa. Is that a maritime flower? They say she's the pickiest user of skincare products in all of...
Here you go.
Well, it's very kind to the skin, and the absorption rate is high. Even for Fontaine.
Wow, now that's high praise!
I'll take one. Any discounts?
All right. Well, all that remains for me to say is, Butterfly Dew is now...
Think we should buy a bottle too? Of course you bring up Mora. Fine, Paimon will pay out of her own pocket. And if you're worried about whether it's the right product for you, well, luckily for us...
It's an honor to receive such high praise from you. To be honest, I was also hoping you might be able to point out some...
With most skincare products, the pros and cons only become apparent with long-term use. Oh yeah, this one has instant benefits, improving skin quality without any obvious side effects. It's one of a kind. Don't worry though, I plan to keep using it, and I'll publish regular reviews in both taste...
Oh, I was hoping for a more casual conversation, but you are a beauty association leader after...
Sigewinne? Oh, excuse us, Miss Beauty Expert. But do you think this product is a good choice for me and him?
Wait, are you the renowned traveler?
That's right, and by his side, the equally famous Paimon.
Well, I don't normally handle customer questions personally, but Butterfly Dew is made for all skin types, so no matter who you are, you can rest assured that it will be kind to your skin. If anything, it might be marginally more effective on Fontainian's skin, but other than that...
Why would it work better on...
In the interests of protecting my trade secrets, I'm afraid I can't answer that, Miss Paimon.
Alright then. How about a friend discount?
Save yourself the trouble. I'd be greatly honored to have both of you use my product. Here, take 2 bottles for free.
Yay! Paimon's private fund survives!
I can see why you might think that, but please don't misunderstand. This gift is simply a token of my... To me, finding new customers for Butterfly Dew is about meeting kindred spirits, fellow admirers of physical beauty. I consider it a labor of love.
Admirers of physical beauty? Eesh, that's embarrassing to say out loud. It sounds so shallow.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, Miss Paimon. Most people claim to desire inner virtue, but it's still physical appearance that turns their heads. This is a fact of life. It's only natural for people to desire to become beautiful. And that's exactly what inspired me to choose this research direction.
You're right. Everyone loves beauty, don't they?
Look at the time. My apologies, but I have other things to attend to. I'll leave you with these 2 bottles of Butterfly Dew, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Paimon, I'd say there's no need for you and the Traveler to use this product for now.
Why? Is there a problem?
The quality is fine. I just think there's room for improvement. I think I could add...
Really? Then why didn't you tell...
Researchers are a very special breed of human. You can point out their flaws to their face and they won't mind very much. But if you tell them that someone else could do a better job, now that'll make them really upset. If I'd mentioned it, he probably wouldn't have given you those 2 bottles for free.
Fair enough, that makes...
If you're interested in the more effective version, I can write up a list of ingredients for you.
When you say more effective, you mean it'll make Paimon even prettier? Ooh, how can we say no?
As for me, it's probably time I got back to the Fortress of Maripede.
Alright, see you there then! Just up ahead, Traveler. The ingredients for Sigewinne should be nearby.
Laid bare. Gather.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Great! That's everything! Let's head to the Fortress of Mirapede! Whoa, the infirmary is packed!
Please, you have to believe me. I saw it with my own eyes last night. Another me! He looked exactly like me.
Got it? Okay. I've written down everything you told me. Now, first, which finger am I holding up?
Your index finger, but I'm telling you, my mental state...
Very good. Now, on to the next.
Hey there! Your Grace, it's been a while, huh?
Ah, it's you two. Indeed it has. I would offer you some tea, but I'm afraid...
No worries. Actually, we were looking for Sigewinne. Do you,
This inmate came running to the guards in a panic, claiming to have seen his exact doppelganger.
a doppelganger? Doesn't that just mean someone else kinda looks like him?
And that's what I thought when the report first reached my desk. But we've inspected our records. Considering how certain he is of what he saw, I can only surmise that he's having some mental issues. So I brought him for a...
Alright, very good. Take a sip of water and... Evaluation complete. I couldn't find any symptoms.
I see. So do you still believe there's more likely to be an issue?
I have to assume so for now. Psychological issues are more difficult to detect. At this stage, we can at least confirm that he...
The rumor mill will go crazy if word of this gets out. Guards, take him to the ward for a period of observation. The Marechaussee Phantom has requested my cooperation on a case, otherwise I'd deal with this myself. Sorry for the trouble, head nurse, but I'll have to leave this to you.
No problem, Your Grace. I'll add him to my observation list.
By the way, we have a couple of guests here who have made the trip just to see you.
Oh, Traveler, Paimon.
Hey there, Sigewinne! It's actually not that...
I'll be in my office if you desperately need me.
Okay, bye-bye! So, Sigewinne...
Would you mind waiting for just a moment? I have another patient to see.
Oh, sure!
Sigewinne, we've brought him. And he seems to have taken a turn for the worse.
Okay, don't panic. Let's start by sitting him down here.
Paimon had no idea how busy it can get for Sigewinne. Maybe now's not the time to ask for her help with skincare. Good point. Besides, it might actually be interesting.
Well, this could hurt, so I suggest you take a deep breath.
Did his face melt? What happened to him?
It's anyone's guess. His face melted off shortly after arriving at the fortress. But since he's a serious offender, he can't be allowed out for medical treatment. Best we... Oh, this is gonna be awkward. We still need to bring him to the Marechaussee Phantom for questioning. What if he scares them half to death? Will that be our...
The Marechaussee Phantom? Does this have something...
Yup, it was a huge case. They bagged a few dozen crooks in one fell swoop. And this guy's the baddest apple of the bunch. He harmed countless people.
You done gawking?
Not yet. I need to check the severity of your ulcers to decide the right dosage. Don't worry. We Melazines have a very different sense of aesthetics from humans. To me, you just look like a little kitty with slightly scruffy fur, but still just...
Don't patronize me. Do I look like a kid to you? Just give me the
Hey, lose the attitude. You dare talk back to our head nurse like that again?
Oh, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to apply the medication now.
Look how nice Sigewinne's being. And he still talks to her like that? What a nasty...
Can I leave now?
Wow, not a peep. Oh.
Thank you, Sigewinne. And I apologize for the trouble.
So, Traveler, Paimon, did you bring...
we did, but we don't want to
Oh, don't be silly. I agreed to it, didn't I? Take a rest here if you want. Or, if you're not tired, I hear they're holding a new pit...
Or alternatively, is there anything we could help? That's right! Let us help you out! It's the least we could do!
Good point. Kind-hearted humans start to develop guilt. Don't worry. I'll take a look at my schedule. I'm sure I can find some... I gotta warn you, though. It'll be tiring work. So I suggest...
We're ready, Sigewinne! What's our first mission?
I found the perfect job for the Traveler. First, I'd like you to lie down in this...
What for?
I need you to pretend to be sick.
What?
Oh, is it that difficult? I thought you did a pretty good job last...
Oh, so you knew.
I sure did. He was way more interesting than the usual malingering inmates. And you played along very well, Paimon.
Well, this is awkward.
But no time to explain. My next patient will be here any second. Oh, please, just do as I say. You can, pretend like you've got a nasty headache.
Okay.
Hey, Doc. It's me. I'm only here because my...
Well, your mother has enough on her plate with a busy job. Well, the last thing she needs is to worry about you.
I know! I shouldn't treat the place like a playground. Shouldn't go swimming in the lower levels where we join up with the sea, because it'll give me a cold, and I thought I'd be able to have some fun here at the fortress for a few days, but it's always...
All right. Sit yourself down and I'll take your temperature. Your fever still hasn't...
But Doc, it's so bitter. Do I really have to drink it? I mean, I'll be fine, right? Can't you just write me a note saying I'm on the mend?
I sure can.
Huh? Brave?
Well, if you want to rely on your own immune system to clear up your fever, then you'll have to tough it out like this guy.
Hang in there, Traveler! Are you gonna puke? Paimon can get you a paper bag!
As long as you're tough enough to get through the nausea and dizziness caused by the high fever, you'll...
And... if...
Hey! Wake up! Wake up!
Put it this way. At least you'll never have to see the doctor again, right?
I think maybe you'll...
Oh, of course. Here, it's...
It's so bitter.
All done. Great job, you two.
That kid really doesn't know what's good for him.
His mother's a guard here. She's been working back-to-back shifts lately. But unfortunately, he was quite happy at first. He seemed to think that the Fortress of Meripede would...
So you made us put on that act just to scare a kid into taking his medicine? That's a...
It's a technique I learned from my teacher.
Oh, you had a teacher? Was she a Melazine doctor?
She was human. She passed away a long time.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I really liked my teacher, so she was a traveling doctor. And since she didn't have a clinic, she'd go out and visit her patients. She used to say, if you can scare the little brats into taking their medicine, you...
She sounds like a pretty...
strict. Well, that's not how my teacher saw it. She thought of herself as terrifying to kids.
Strange way for a doctor to describe themselves. No, but...
as it happens,
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that'll terrify the kids.
Yep. All the children she treated thought she was a witch.
Why does it almost sound like you're...
Oh, because I am. If she was here, all the children...
A doctor who looks like a witch. True, they wouldn't dare try anything...
Oh, me, on the other hand...
That's actually a good thing, you know?
Oh, my next patient should be arriving now.
Sure thing! On to the next... Is it nighttime already?
Well, thanks to you two, it was...
Aww. Should we get some rest? It's getting...
Oh, there is one last thing. I have to keep it confidential.
Confidential? Are you...
It's fine. You're not living here anymore, so it's okay if you know. All it is I have to prepare some ingredients.
Wait, you mean those healthy meals?
My patients refuse to eat any healthy meals I prepare in front of them, so I have to prep the ingredients in secret, then let the chef at the Coupon cafeteria handle the rest.
Considering even the chef's version makes people uneasy, it really makes you wonder what's in it.
You want to find out? I can teach you how to make it. That way, if you ever suffer from exhaustion on your future travels, you can...
Sure.
The ingredients are ready. Now, put them on the table, and first we add this special slime condensate. Stir it thoroughly, then...
Yeah, it really does!
Next up, xenochromatic crystals. You want to crush them up into a fine powder, like...
Wait, are those from Fontimer Aberrants? Are you sure they're edible?
Finally, we'll need some high-protein meat. Frogs are an excellent choice. You just need to clean their innards.
Oh! Frogs.
And we're done. All that's left now. Yesterday in the production zone, I noticed an inmate who's been working for 2 days straight. That means it's a healthy meat.
Sigewinne really does have the inmates...
Ah, head nurse. Got some extras for me?
Just the one today. The serial number's on the lid.
Sounds good. I'll make sure it gets delivered.
Sounds like they're talking in code.
Thanks for your help.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I only wish I could do more. You work so hard for all our sakes.
That won't do. If you reduce your sleeping hours any further...
All right, nerd.
Well, I'm done with work for today.
Seems like the guards and staff here have a lot of respect for you, Sigewinne.
Head nurse, please, wait. I'm sorry to disturb you this late at night.
Okay, just relax.
The guard at the observation ward, Odilon, he told me to pass on a message to you. One of the inmates there, the guy suffering from possible hallucinations, well, he seems to have made...
All right.
You were right to tell me. I'll have to examine him and make sure...
Looks like we've got one job as medical assistants left.
Head nurse, you're finally here. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused. After giving it some thought, I'm sure that I was probably just seeing things. Stress-related, I imagine. I'd been working long hours, so I definitely...
I totally understand. Still, I have to give you an examination before I can discharge you, okay?
Again, so sorry. I was in such a state this morning, I barely recall anything. Would you mind taking me through it again?
Oh, not at all. It's a lot to remember. First up, we have a little cognitive test.
Your pinky.
Alright, all indicators...
So it was a stress-induced hallucination after all?
Well, we've certainly had previous cases of mental illness caused by overwork, which is why I carefully observe everyone in the production zone. I wonder how I managed to miss the signs this time.
Please, head nurse, you shouldn't blame yourself. I'm just still adapting, that's all. Pushed myself too hard, and I guess thanks for looking after me. I'll be as good as new after a good night's sleep.
It can be difficult to relax in an unfamiliar environment. I suggest you take 2 days off to focus on your recovery.
Great. I can't...
Mr. Odilon, could you...
Of course. I'm on guard duty in the administrative area tonight.
Guess you're finally done for the day now, huh?
Yep. But I still haven't gotten around to make...
Oh, no rush! Seriously, it's...
Well, tomorrow it is then.
Oh, don't you worry! We will! After a... Yeah, sleep... Paimon really did sleep like a log. Let's go find Sigewinne.
Good morning, Traveler and Paimon. I have a few
No problem. Anything we...
There's a bit of a complicated situation here.
You have to believe me. I'm telling the truth.
You're in a medical facility. Keep it down.
Please, listen to me. I'm not Gascon. I'm Uy.
You're a horrible liar, you know that? We get all your mugshots with the arrest warrants. It's clear as day that you're Gascon.
You mean because of the way I look? I don't know what happened. I just woke up like this. Then you guys dragged me in here for an interrogation.
I brought you here to figure out what's going on. If you truly are the victim of an injustice, yelling isn't going to achieve...
All right.
This is nuts. Yesterday's interrogations went fine.
Morning, Your Grace. What's going on?
Remember the case I mentioned yesterday? The one brought to me by the Marechaussee Phantom? Well, we've been questioning the inmates involved this morning.
Huh. That's even weirder than what that guy was saying yesterday.
The thing is, none of them have been able to provide any evidence whatsoever to support their claims. Questioning them...
And we thought yesterday was as busy as it got for Sigewinne.
We've compiled their statements. Have a look. Perhaps there's something we missed.
Wait.
Release? Interesting. The inmates they spoke of in their statements appear to all be...
I noticed that too. If that's their plan, they're underestimating us a little. Every serious offender claims that there's someone else.
All the more reason to be cautious. Lumberzar, check the release list for today and make sure no one gets processed. We're gonna need an excuse, though. Just say we're out of forms, and that we're furiously printing more as...
I'm on it.
It's conceivable that our group of serious offenders somehow found a way to switch places with inmates who are about to be released.
We did consider that possibility. But I mean, just look at them. They match the warrants, period. How could there have been a switch?
Only if they're dead ringers for the inmates due for release, I suppose. I gave you that name list yesterday to assist in your investigation.
Yes, the inmates' mugshots were attached to the list. The only other thing that stands out to me is that their voices sound a little different today. But...
Oh, really?
Give me a moment. I think I have a way to confirm whether there's been a switch. I know, it's not time to change your dressing yet, but please bear with me.
Huh? Isn't that the guy from yesterday?
This should be Honore. He has very severe facial ulcers, which require an operation in the hospital at the Court of Fontaine. I authorized him to leave the fortress for medical treatment.
Yes, like I told you. I'm not Potton. I'm Honore.
So there has been a swap. Well, I can see what happened in Potton's case, but how do you explain the other inmates?
No, I believe it was their faces that got... The method is a bit like replacing a tooth. Take the bad tooth out, put a false... Traveler, Paimon, do you remember Eric from the other day?
Yeah, sure do.
Then you can be my witnesses. To start with, please fetch the So, you're Eric?
Yes, head nurse. It's me. You do believe me, right?
I need to do another examination on you. Same procedure as yesterday.
All right. It's the cognition test first, right? So I need to concentrate.
Now, try to recall if you can. The last time we did this test, which finger did I hold up?
I believe it was... your index finger.
But that means...
Huh?
So, basically, last night, the Eric who said he saw another him suddenly recovered and applied to leave the observation ward. Sigewinne did another test before letting him leave, but that time, she held up her pinky finger.
Huh? I don't know about any test last night. There was nothing to do in the observation ward, so I went straight to bed.
Well, in that case, there is a reasonable explanation for the strange events of...
So, what exactly happened?
The gang of serious offenders wanted to break out of prison, so they identified a group of scapegoats, namely inmates whose term... Last night, when Odilon was on duty, they ambushed him and had one of their groups switch appearances with him using their face-swapping method. Then, once all the other inmates were asleep, Odilon spent his night shift carrying out the However, they made one mistake. Henri changed his appearance to match Eric's earlier than he should have done, and ended up being spotted. Real Eric came to the guards for help, but we didn't know then what we know now. So we put it down to hallucination and sent him to the observation ward. However, since one of the gang members was posing as a guard, they simply changed real Eric.
Right, because I put Eric on the observation list by then, and no inmates on that list can be processed for departure until I've
Hence why the imposters had to pull that little stunt to get fake Eric off the list.
Yeah, it all makes sense now.
Well, I can't fault the reasoning. But I'm afraid that we ruled out...
Criminals altering their facial appearance to commit crimes is nothing new. In fact, one of the explicit duties of the Malazines in the Marechaussee Phantom is to identify We carefully examined all the suspects, and there is no evidence that any means of disguise were used in this case.
So far, it seems more likely that the gang stole documentation belonging to the inmates due for release. And are you...
Actually, there is a potion that can completely change someone's appearance. If they use that, Even a Melusine.
A shape-shifting potion?
Forgive me, head nurse, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. If such a potion truly existed, it would—
Yes, I am.
But—
Please, trust me in my professional opinion as an—
At the same time, without any solid evidence, it's pure speculation. If we can round up all the inmates suspected of switching places, then have a look— Yep.
Okay. Well, it was our negligence that meant we had to come and conduct these post-internment interrogations.
Your Grace, bad news. I paused the releases like you asked, but we were too late. I checked the list, and sure enough—
2 hours ago? That's before today's interrogations began.
So there really was a switch after all.
We should be able to catch up with them if we leave now.
Not if that potion is real. They can just switch faces again after leaving the fortress. And if the Marishose's Melusines can—
Yikes! So we're at a complete dead end!
Well, technically there is— We were only able to arrest this gang thanks to the help of a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. I believe his name is Rawat.
Oh? Rawat? Isn't that the handsome guy we met at the—
Handsome? Maybe from a human point of view. I just remember one of the crimes this gang is charged with is the manufacture and sale of illicit drugs. According to Mr. Rawat, they appear to have stolen technology he developed through his research. At first, he thought it was a typical case of intellectual property infringement, and he tried to negotiate with them. But once he discovered their criminal— Thanks to his report, we were able to swoop in and arrest them.
What a hero! Bet that took courage on him.
No doubt. This is worth following up on. As the one who snitched on them, it's highly likely that that aside, since he's negotiated with them in person before, there's a chance he'll—
Understood, Your Grace. My team and I will head to the Fontaine Research Institute right away. In the meantime—
Of course.
Miss Morgan? Well, I'm the one who discharged the—
Don't say that, head nurse. Your focus was on the inmate's health.
I also have a more personal reason. Cotton is a patient of mine, and if I don't get a new batch of medicine to him—
Look, head nurse, I completely understand where you're coming from.
Don't worry,
If I may, Miss Morgan, Sigewinne is the one who raised the potion hypothesis, and I'm sure she has far more expertise on the topic than you. And if you really are worried for her safety, then— Ah, there you go, right on cue.
Okay. Well, since this plan has the Duke's— Greetings. Sorry to impose, but I'm afraid—
The Marsh's Phantom. Let me guess, you're investigating—
Not this time, no. We're looking for a researcher.
What? He actually doesn't work on site here very often. There's a handful of researchers in the nearby area who know him pretty well, though.
Just a handful? Paimon figured he'd be the most popular guy around.
Well, I guess you could say he's popular, at least on a superficial level. He's blessed with good looks, so he tends to make a— But in all his time here at the Fontaine Research Institute, I don't think he's ever had a single deep
That's so weird. He definitely didn't come across like a recluse at that product promotion.
I don't find that weird at all. He definitely didn't strike me as the kind of guy who's,
Really? Paimon couldn't tell.
Okay, we should talk with his acquaintances. But we also need to check the Research Institute for it.
Sure thing! We'll go ask around among the other researchers with Sigewinne. Excuse us, are you Audrey?
That's me.
Are you close friends with Rawat? We're trying to find out where—
Close friends? You mean because I told him I had feelings for him once? I doubt I'm the first or last at the Institute to make that mistake. Why would you think I should have known, really? Men like him, they just enjoy being surrounded by fawning women. They're not interested in a serious...
Okay. We were just kind of wondering...
Why would I know where he's at?
Ugh, this is getting annoying. Shall we go ask someone else?
I think she knows Rawat better than she cares to admit. If we leave...
Maybe, but we're not going to get much out of her while she's in this.
She's displaying symptoms common among people in love, if that's what you...
It's curable?
Oh, we're still no closer to finding Mr. Rawat. Oh, by this point, he could be in grave danger.
Danger? Wait, why are you looking for him again?
Oh, that's right, yeah! The Marechaussee Phantom said that...
What? How has this happened? He seemed fine when I last saw him, and that was only a couple of days ago. Just happened to run into him, of course.
Oh, I see. Well, do you have any thoughts on where he might be right now?
Okay, but this is purely out of concern for his safety. I heard she raised him alone, that they had it pretty tough financially, and these days she's housebound due to illness.
Oh!
Nope, sorry. I only found out the thing about his mother because it came up in conversation once. I was just trying to find out more about him, so I could get to know him better. When I told him I had a crush on him, I offered to help him take care of his mother. And yeah, maybe that was a stupid idea, but did he really have to yell at me for it? It's like, fine, I can take no... Unbelievable. These guys only want to show you they're charming. Well,
looks like her love syndrome is full.
We need to find out Mr. Rawat's mother's address. Let's check with the Marechaussee officers when we
Cool, sounds like a plan. Hey there, are you in Teep?
What do you want?
We're here to ask about Rawat. Any idea where he might be?
Close? Not sure that's the word I'd use.
Huh?
It's been a good few days since I last saw him. I don't know where he's at.
Would the patent in question happen to be related?
Yeah, kinda. Butterfly do, or...
Okay, now...
Most of the other researchers here focus on mechanics, energy, stuff like that. But I'm studying coatings. There's a huge overlap in our areas of research. I bought his product once, and noticed it contains a unique substance that might have applications in coatings, too. If it worked out, don't get me wrong, I had no intention of plagiarizing his work. I was hoping to get official permission to use his findings in my own research. Followed the proper procedure. It was all above board. I would have had to pay him up, but despite that, he turned me down not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Huh, so is Rawat antisocial? Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any info.
Wait, 1 second. Mr. Antibes, next time you go shopping, you should buy some Buell fruits. Peel the skin, steep in water, then...
Huh?
Sorry to bother you, sir, but are you Bertram?
Who's asking?
Just some concerned citizens helping out the Marechaussee Phantom with an investigation. We'd like to ask you about Rawat's whereabouts, if that's okay. We're told the two of you are pretty close.
Not anymore, we're not. Turns out we don't see eye to eye.
Oh, yeah?
The thing about us researchers is, most of us do what we do for some sort of higher purpose. But he won't even let you work with him unless you sign a confidentiality agreement first. Also, he has better control over who gets which intellectual property rights. Now that I've got my own technical solution for my compressor, I don't need to work with him anymore.
So that's what Rawat...
We'd still like to know where to find him. Is that...
Wait, you're... Yeah, I know you. You're the head nurse at the Fortress of Meropide.
Wow, turns out Sigewinne's got...
Thing is, I have no real way of knowing where he might be. I stopped working with him 2 months, but if you want my advice, I'd say go talk to the peddlers. There's a few.
Peddlers?
Yeah, back when I was working with him, I noticed he met with them quite often. Wouldn't surprise me if they were involved in some shady business together, because it seemed like they went out of their way to avoid discuss. The little I overheard was about manufacturing and selling pharmaceutical drugs.
Drugs? Doesn't he work with skincare products?
Who knows? I never cared to find out.
Thank you.
Welcome. Goodbye.
Well, that's all 3 researchers. Let's head back to the meetup point. You know, Heimat started out thinking Rawat was a handsome researcher with a friendly and cheerful personality.
So, what's your view of him now?
A handsome researcher whose difficult upbringing turned him into...
So your thoughts about his appearance haven't changed at all?
Well, his looks are kind of a big deal. At least in Paimon's opinion. How does such a handsome guy end up being so...
You can't judge a person solely based on their appearance.
Head nurse. Traveler. I assume you've spoken with the researchers. What did you find out?
Bertram mentioned Rawat's involvement with some pharmaceutical merchants. Do you know if he's registered any pharmaceutical brands?
Since he was a whistleblower on such a huge case, I ran a background check on him. I don't remember there being a...
How strange. If he was so focused on commercializing his research and maybe he and his business partners needed to have...
You think he may have colluded with the gang? Well,
Isn't that pretty unlikely, though? He was the...
Most children who come to me with tooth decay have suffered pain for a long time already, but they'll still try to hide the fact that they eat too many sweets.
I saw him when he came to make his report, and I certainly didn't get the feeling that he was the type to collude with criminals. Perhaps it's... You mentioned that he comes from a poor family. So, it's possible that the criminals approached by the time he discovered who they really were. He was in too deep. They had leverage on him, so he would...
That does make a lot of sense. It would definitely explain why he was... No wonder he's so unsociable. He must be on edge all the time with a gang of crooks breathing down his neck.
In that case, the situation... If Rawat was working with the escaped inmates, they're sure to know more about his whereabouts than us.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, he was last seen
2 days ago. So he went missing right after that product promotion.
That was the same day he reported the criminals, too.
Don't worry, everyone. I believe we still have a chance. Since he disappeared right after...
Yeah, he must have been worried that they...
All the more reason to find him as soon as possible. The only lead we have at the moment is his mother's house, which you met...
Yep. When you register a brand, the Court of Fontaine requires you to provide...
Okay.
Overruled.
All right. This should...
Okay.
Sounds like whoever's inside has restricted mobility. Oh, it seems serious. Oh, what's the...
break the door down?
No, I'll handle it. Let the expert deal with it. There'll be a mountain of paper... Calm down. Deep breaths. Remember remember your training, control your strength, and... it's open!
Seath, take a few people and lie in wait. Keep your eyes peeled for any activity around the house. The Traveler...
No, don't...
Oh, there. On the bed, there's an old lady. That's gotta be Rawat's mother, right?
We could try, but she is very ill.
Well, doesn't look like Rawat's here.
Yep. Hello, ma'am. Might I ask if you're Rawat's... hard of hearing, perhaps?
I have one here.
I'd like to show you a photo, ma'am. Is this...
Looks like this isn't gonna work out.
Well, looks like we're out of leads.
Is it possible he could have avoided returning here because he knew he'd be in...
Maybe. But if so, where do we look next?
Guess so.
I suggest we all return there now. We found a good amount of useful information the first time.
Sorry, officer, but could I stay here for a while? This patient requires some care.
Of course. Traveler, stay with the head nurse. You're technically here as her assistant after all.
Also, I'd like some Marechaussee members to stay as well, and keep an eye on the area.
Why's that?
If Rawat knows how serious his mother's condition is, he will return.
Got it. Okay, I'll tell the squad members and...
Thanks for helping me out yet again, Traveler and Paimon.
No problem. But when you say her condition is...
Yes, she's barely clinging on to...
Oh.
Let me take care of a few things first. Could you pass me the...
Yeah, of course.
I can tell that her family has tried a lot of different treatment methods, including some very expensive medicines. Unfortunately, her condition is so...
Sigewinne, I'm on Bet's...
Yes. In Melusine's eyes, a human's birth, aging, sickness, and death are... But human medicine can defy that law to some extent. In that sense, it is a science of miracles. But it was only after I truly became a doctor that I realized miracles don't always happen. Even the greatest doctors cannot cure all disease.
Sigewinne.
Well, don't worry about me, Paimon. A doctor's duty is not to cure all diseases. At the very least, I can lower her fever. That way she'll suffer less.
Yeah. All the more reason to find Rawat as soon as...
Oh, her fever is getting worse.
Sure, we're on the case.
Found the hot water?
Sure did. And look, judging by this journal, it seems like Rawat has a private lab.
Oh, that's great news. The wet towel is ready. I'm giving you another injection. Are you feeling better now? It's all right. We'll go bring him back.
Thank you.
We came as soon as we heard the news. I can't believe we were so careless.
Don't blame yourself.
There's a mechanical door over here. Hopefully the instruct...
It's open. Let's go in.
How did they get in here?
Captain, up ahead! Those look like our fugitives!
So they found this place too? Don't let any of them escape!
Another test subject. That tingle?
Into the wind.
Silence! The wrong test subject. The wrong test subject.
Captain, according to our list, many of the fugitives aren't accounted for. There may be others hiding deeper inside the facility.
Ah, so these guys were...
The Marachose Phantom! How did they find this place?
Wait, it's that guard from the fortress!
That's right, I'm on your side. The Duke sent me. What's the matter? Some sort of mix-up?
Mr. Odilon, didn't I tell you a few days ago that you need to stop all field work until you've
well, you know, gotta help His Grace out. Share the load.
Officer Morgan, this man is an imposter. The real Mr. Odilon has no recent health issues.
What? But...
Looks like the head nurse was right about the face-swapping method. Arrest them all! DuPont, stay here and keep guard. And watch the exit.
Got it.
So many jars. Was this some sort of production facility?
This scent. It's probably the ingredients used to make...
How come they're all empty? Did it sell so well that he ran out of supplies?
How strange. Why would Rawat choose to manufacture a popular product like that in such a difficult-to-reach location, given our suspicion that he may have been coerced into the illegal drug trade? I would have thought that any production facility...
Perhaps Butterfly Dew is itself an illegal drug.
Do you have any evidence for that claim?
No, just a guess. We need to find Rawat as soon as...
Understood.
like we're gonna get this door open. Let's find another way around. Calm down! This one's closed too! What's with those carts and tracks? Oh, maybe it's one of those doors that opens when it senses cargo passing through. There's a loaded cart right over there. Let's bring it to the door and give it a try. Let's blow bubbles! Don't be nervous. Just relax. Shower me with the...
Settle down!
Floaty floaty! Don't slip and fall! Don't slip and fall! This room's much smaller than the others.
Judging by the implements on the table, this looks like a potion-making lab.
Head nurse! Over here!
Let's see. Huh? Robot's clothes.
stripped him down, left the clothes behind, and disposed of him somewhere else?
Yikes, Sigewinne, where did that come from?
Oh, what a tragic way to go.
There's a path leading further on, Officer Morgan. Shh! There's a whole bunch of people in there!
Are you serious? You're telling us that within a day, our faces are going to rot like yours?
Fontanian physiology changed dramatically after that great flood, and it's not as compatible with this face-changing solution as before. The side effects are as you can see.
Why didn't you say anything before we all used it?
Look, my plan got you all out of prison, didn't it? You'd have much bigger problems to worry about right now if the Marshal Say Phantom found out about your other crimes. Consider an ugly mug.
Ugh. You're just lucky we didn't leave you in there after you disappeared on us with no warning. We only let it slide because we're former partners. And now you have the gall to pull a stunt like this?
Partners? Make no mistake, each of us is only looking out for himself. You hid things from me too. Remember how you each had a spare potion? You kept quiet about it until we planned the prison break?
Oh, and you didn't have a secret spare? Then do you want to explain how you melted your face off before all—
Guys, that's enough. Calm down. It is what it is. What's the plan, Parton? I'm assuming you brought us here for a reason?
There is no plan. We followed him here on the promise of more juice. Besides, what does it matter now anyway? He already said, even if we did get our hands on more of that stuff, switching faces again solves nothing.
I said enough arguing!
The most practical solution is to continue using the potion. Keep switching to a new face before the ulcers can start forming.
Are you kidding me? This stuff was hard enough to get a hold of even when we had a supply. Now you're asking us to use it like skin lotion, after the flood all but wiped the supply out?
Well, there is another option. But you'll have to make a deal with me first.
Okay, now we're talking. What's the—
I have a document I took from that researcher that details how to make a replacement. Just give me one bottle of the undiluted fluid, and I'll— What's the problem? I thought you always kept reserves. Or do you—
What do you think? That we were shipping them into the fortress of Meripede by—
Well then, say hello to never showing your marred faces in public.
I've heard enough! Get him! Let's see if that doc—
Freeze! Marshal Say Phantom!
What? Who let them in?
Officer Morgan, before anything else, please find out—
Bro, what?
I don't see him. Hand over the hostage now, if you want any—
Spare us your condescending attempts to coax us back to our cells. You think we're looking to—
Hutton?
Arrest them all! Don't let anyone get away!
Time to shine! The doctor will see.
Seems like an
He might feel a little sick. Let's blow
another test cell.
Time to go. One with nature. Fallen leaves adorn my...
Silence! Be sanctified.
Huh. Gotta say, I never expected to see the head nurse in combat.
Some patients respond better to a more aggressive treatment plan.
Captain, we finished the head count. Potten's missing.
Over there! The door's closed!
One group trying to arrest me, another trying to hunt me down. Good. I gotta kill two birds with one stone.
How did he get up there? There must be...
Don't waste your energy. I already sealed it up.
How naive. We have more people outside. If we're not back out...
Well then, you'd better hope they get here.
There's some kind of gas leaking from the pipes.
This is our distribution center, where we store the product derived from our source solution. We had to use special fire prevention methods to prevent contamination. The pipe network here was designed to emit a gas for firefighting.
Why would you do this? You're...
Oh, please. If they can't supply what I need, they're of no further use to me. Besides...
He's a maniac! Come on, we gotta find a way to open that...
Go ahead. Struggle in vain. Once the last of you croaks, no one will ever find me again.
Are you sure you're ready to leave, Potten? You haven't changed your dressing today.
You can't cure my face. Just give it.
And what if I could?
Nice try. You're just trying to stall me. Don't you worry about me. I'll find a way to cure my face once I get out of here.
Oh, I doubt it. After all, Fontanians can no longer dissolve in primordial seawater. The key component of the face-changing potion is the fluid left behind by dissolved Fontanians. It might look like ordinary water, but it has some unique elements in it. Before the flood, all Fontanians were Oceanids. Physiologically speaking, a potion made from that fluid could dissolve and reconstruct the face of a Fontanian, in much the same way as hydroidolins change form. Theoretically, it could give someone any appearance they wished, but since the flood, Fontanians have become true humans. They can no longer provide the source material for this potion.
Are you saying this potion is made from Fontanians dissolved with primordial seawater?
How could you know all of this? No, wait.
It also means that I have a formula you're unaware of. The air's getting thicker. It's getting hard to breathe.
I might get to make a deal today after all. Alright, keep talking.
Oh, it's not a formula, but a finished product. I have a bottle...
What?
When I tried Rawat's skincare product, I noticed it had a certain special component in it. So I had my friends gather some other ingredients for me, and sure enough, a little experiment. I'm guessing his skincare lotion contains the fruits of your joint research?
Huh. Impressive guesswork. Yeah, we were a supplier for some of the... But it only contains a tiny amount of the active ingredient. The effect is minuscule.
Well, I found a way to reverse the dilution process, giving the skincare lotion a similar effect to the fluid it is derived from.
That's impossible.
If I tell you some of the ingredients, I think you can figure it out. First, you need to combine tainted hydrophantasm tissue with
Tainted hydrophantasms and transoceanic pearls.
So, can we make...
Sounds good to me. There's a delivery pipeline beneath this window. Drop the potion in, and I'll release you all.
Nope, not trusting you that easily. You're like those naughty kids who try to hide their illness. Open the sluice gate first.
Even if you're not bluffing, your potion won't cure my face permanently. I'm not closing the valve this time. Plux?
Fine. Then I'll just stand here with the potion in my hand. And when I faint from the poison...
No.
It's open!
Disable that sluice gate! Jam it! Don't...
That's more like it. In that case...
Head nurse, there's too much poison gas in here. We have to leave, now!
That was too close. That Potton is a real nasty—
Oh, don't be too quick to sit down. Moving around a little will help relieve the soreness. Same goes for you, Traveler. Oh, but Paimon, you should be fine.
Flying fast is pretty tiring too, actually. Anyway, that's not important right now. Paimon's still shocked to learn that there's a whole criminal operation going on behind that skin—
Shame I ended up giving the improved version of Potton after finally making it for you.
No, please don't. Paimon doesn't want to use that stuff anymore. Still, it was a pretty good job that Paimon wanted to buy some in the first place, huh? It ended up saving everyone's lives. That's gotta count for something. Yeah, Paimon was just kidding.
Head nurse, I've done a final head count of our team and the criminals. Everyone's here and doing fine. It's a shame that we didn't find Rawat. At this point...
What a horrible bunch. Especially that Potton guy. If he had made good on that deal, we'd all be dead.
No, we wouldn't. I always keep a whole bunch of antidotes on me for emergencies. And one of them neutralizes that poison gas. We'd have been fine, even if you hadn't opened—
What? Then why did you give him the potion?
If this is true, I must concur. If he changes his appearance and flees Fontaine, it's unlikely that we'll ever find him.
No, you don't understand. I gave him the potion precisely so we could be sure where he'll go next.
What do you mean?
We gotta hurry. She won't last much longer.
Don't move a muscle. I might be short, but I pack a mean punch. Captain, you're just in time. While I was lying in wait, I spotted this crook snooping around, trying to...
Oh, his face.
Are you... Potton?
What?
This is how Potton looked before his face was marred. His current appearance matches the mugshot on his arrest warrant.
Wait, so what's going on? Wasn't the whole point of the potion to disguise himself and escape Fontaine? Why would he change back to his original—
Enough of this nonsense. Let me in.
You better pipe down. There's an old lady in there who's very sick. No.
To heck with it. Listen to me. I'm Rawat. That's my mother in there.
He's gotta be lying, right? Rawat was a victim in all this. He was forced into it against his will. How can he and this monster—
Forced against his will? Heck, when I was being coerced, everyone thought I was colluding of my own free will. And then when I actually became a criminal in my own right, you all suddenly thought I must be under duress. Amazing what a difference a handsome face makes.
Save us the speech.
You want an explanation? Fine. I'll tell it how it is. When I was just Potton, the whole world treated me with contempt.
Ew. What do you want? Get away from me.
Women despise me.
Collaborate? You don't look like much of a—
My peers scorn—
Mr. Potton, was it? I'm most interested in your research. Consider my offer carefully. I doubt you'll find other investment.
Only villains would work with me.
You want out of the game? Forget about it. Turns out, I slipped up a little. Left your picture with some Marechaussee Phantom officers. Easy mistake to make. Now they've... So I suggest you put any thoughts of running away to rest. If you get caught by the guards for being in the synth business...
There was no way out for me. Until I could stop being Patton.
Mr. Rawat,
I became popular with women.
This new potion you developed is fascinating. Genius, in fact. Would you consider working with me?
My peers looked up to me.
Okay, I'm very interested in your research, sir. You must no doubt have offers from countless investors.
And the villains even began to fear me. Becoming Rawat showed me what a superficial world, but I did not hold a grudge. After all, this superficiality could be... Or so I thought. But alas, the world... Mother, I'm back. How are you doing?
Who are you?
I bought the best medicine Mora could buy, but nothing would cure her illness. In the end, I hoped she'd at least be able to see her son one last time before she passed, but when everyone else rejected me, the only person who cared about me was my mother.
I have to let her see me again. Even if it means donning my... Well, is that enough explaining for you?
Have you ever considered if you'll even be able to look your... You found a way to completely change your identity. You could easily have escaped from them.
Why would I want to give up on such a lucrative business? The profits were dozens of times that of the synth bit.
So you kept being a villain just for the money?
Villain? By what standard? Is doing evil deeds really what makes someone a villain in your eyes? Or does it all come down to the way they look? None of you saw a villain. You have no right to judge me. You're all just fake people living in a hypocritical world. I regret nothing.
You're a villain to the core, but especially...
Honestly, I don't see a villain when I look at your current face either.
Don't humor me. You don't seem surprised by my confession in the least. How long have you...
I didn't know anything for sure until you chose to take that potion bottle and spare our lives. But if you're asking when I started suspecting you, it was the first time you came to see me at the infirmary. I had to confirm my suspicions. That's...
Are you kidding me? A young, promising researcher and a wretched criminal? What on earth gave you the idea that they could be...
Well, there were no visual clues. This potion's face-changing effects are very powerful, but I believe I understand humanity a little better than most of my kind.
Fundamental qualities, huh? So you think you're the one who's seen through me, do you? Most people probably don't know this, but I think I can guess what your deal is. Melazine constitutions are very close to that of water, so it stands to reason that the potion should work on them, too. You used it yourself, didn't you? That's why you have a human appearance.
Sigewinne?
Yes, you're right.
I'll bet it was back in the days when Melazines were discriminated. It was either carry on living in the gutters as part of an alien race cast out by humanity, or become the head nurse of the fortress of Meripede, revered by all. So you see, you and I were the same.
That's not important right now. You came here to see your mother, didn't you? Well...
Huh?
A head nurse. I'm not sure that's a good...
Don't worry. Back in the warehouse when he was willing to risk sacrificing his only chance of escaping capture by opening the gate in exchange...
I see.
So before you arrest him, please allow him to see his mother.
All right.
Mom? It's me, Patton. Your son. You recognize me now. Mom, what's...
I'm sorry, but I have some bad news. I examined your mother last time we were here, and...
What?
Your appearance no longer has any bearing on her ability to recognize you.
No, it can't be. Please, Mom, open your eyes. I've done so much to get to this point. No.
The temperature of his palm must have changed. I'm sorry. It seems I couldn't bring him back to you after all.
It's you. Thank you.
Of course.
Mom! Why will you answer?
No more questions, Potton. She's gone.
Mom!
I'm sorry to say this, Potton.
The wait is over, everyone! The sale of our new skincare product, Romaritime Essence, will now begin.
Another skincare promotion! And it's selling as fast as last time. Wonder what people would... Oh, Sigewinne's here too! Hey, Sigewinne!
Oh, Traveler Paimon, hello!
Of course! Nurse's orders, right? Anyway, are you here to take notes for your...
Actually, I'm mostly here to help Officer Morgan wrap up yesterday's case.
Ah, that reminds Paimon. That stuff sold like crazy, didn't it? Is it gonna...
Nope, there's nothing to worry about. Unless modified, Butterfly Dew is an excellent... Besides, officers have already retrieved all Butterfly Dew purchased on the market. Now it's just after consulting Monsieur Nervulette, I came up with a way to neutralize any harmful effects. So...
Wow, it's Sigewinne...
Thank you for serving as our consultant, head nurse. All the Butterfly Dew we recovered...
Great! Good job!
Also, you mentioned you wanted a copy of Rawat's interrogation records. Well, technically, Potton's records. After he saw his mother for the last time, it was like all his mental defenses came crashing down. He put up no resistance during the interrogation. Apparently, the formula was something he discovered by chance while helping the criminal gang produce synth. Later, their supplier was Vache. But you could also argue that they were the ones doing him a favor. His operation helped Vache's gang dispose of an enormous amount of evidence. It made for a seamless collaboration. One man's trash was another man's treasure, and there were no loose ends.
Vache again, huh? Is there still no end to the harm he caused?
Make no mistake. The crimes of Vache and his accomplices will come to an end. It's only since the flood cut off their supply of primordial seawater, they've been forced to resort to riskier methods, like using their private reserve to attack people on the street. After receiving numerous reports, we were able to zero in on the gang, and eventually...
That sounds more like it!
Based on what he told us in his confession, we pretty much had him backed into a corner. He tried to throw us off his tail by reporting his accomplices, giving him enough time to transform back into Potton, but there was one thing he hadn't anticipated. Even though Potton had been missing for a long time, we were very much still on...
So he tried this once before, huh? Guess he really did want his mother to see him again.
Looking at the interrogation records, it seems like he spent the first sum of money he earned as Rawat on his mother's treatment.
Yes, which is why I suspect that his initial motive for using the potion was not personal greed, but a desire to become somebody who had the power. Even so, he went too far.
I understand.
Why did you want them anyway?
Potton was one of my patients, so I need to put together a medical file for him. My teacher always stressed that a person's life experience...
Why are you still treating him like your patient? Isn't he kind of beyond...
That may be true, but a patient is a patient.
One last thing, head nurse. Please, it would be for the best if most of Fontaine knows nothing of its existence. I know my fellow officers and I will be able to sleep easier if that...
Of course!
Thank you for...
So, Sigewinne, did you really use—
Why do you sound so surprised, Paimon?
I told— you mean that story about the—
Yes,
But—
I know. There are some secrets I can't tell anyone about. But considering everything— Before I tell you, though, could you follow me somewhere? I want to pay my respects to an old friend.
Of course! Nervalette and Risley, they're here too!
Good to see you, Traveler. Paimon. I trust all has been going well for you?
Big news, everyone. The Udex is out of his office on important business.
Is that genuinely something people—
Why wouldn't they? Important business is a—
Ah, yes, you're quite right. When someone you care about requires emotional support, being there for them at the right time and place is of the utmost importance. After reading the Maréchal Phantom's reports, I had a feeling a trip he—
Take note. That, my friends, is how Monsieur Nervalette shows that he cares. We're both here for the same purpose.
So the old friend she mentioned was her teacher then? The witch? Oh, sorry. Paimon didn't mean to be rude. It's only because Sigewinne calls her that all the time, so—
I doubt she considers that title to be offensive, Paimon.
Indeed. In fact, I believe Sigewinne would take it as a sign of affection. She has spoken of this doctor on many occasions. In those days, many people harbored prejudices against Melusines. She was the only—
Wow. It's really nice of you two to be here for Sigewinne. Guess you guys are—
Younger colleague. Well, that might be true for the Udex, but I'm not sure I can say the same. Sigewinne served a sentence in the fortress of Meripede hundreds of years ago, and after she did her time, she decided to stick around. She's been an integral part of our administration ever since. Strictly speaking, the head nurse has been around longer than most people in the fortress, myself included. Pretty sure that—
She served a sentence?
Yes. Long before I became Udex, there was an ancient law in Fontaine that prohibited any attempt to transform another species into a human. Initially, I and most researchers believed this law to have been imposed due to ethical concerns. But now, it seems more likely that the law was nothing more than an insurance policy, a way for Egeria to ensure that her people would remain insulated from the truth, thus enabling them to lead more straightforward, happier lives.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Sigewinne had her reasons for choosing to obtain a human form, but the act was nonetheless unclear.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what happened back then?
Certainly. Sigewinne does not object to her close friends learning about her history. In fact, I first learned of it myself because she confessed the truth to me of her own volition.
Even with their daughter so ill, they kicked you out? Stubborn as always. And prejudice isn't a disease I can cure either. Shame that I don't have the energy to get over there. You're laughable, you old witch. You want to save everyone in Fontaine, but you can't even save the patient before you.
Master, what
I discovered a strange disease, one I suspect that every Fontainian suffers from. But without witnesses or proof, I had no choice but to experiment on myself to find a cure. But I hit a wall.
Then I'll find a cure for you, and then you can go cure her.
There's no need.
But, Master...
As I said before, a doctor's duty...
I know, but they don't trust me at all.
That girl...
I'll do whatever it takes.
Even if it means breaking the law and being punished for it.
As long as I don't hurt anyone.
Then I shall make one more final gamble. And see if I am able to work this miracle, then I will have found a way to save all Fontanians. If not, then it means there is one more disease in this world that I will leave you a parting gift. An accidental discovery happened upon through my study of this strange disease.
When Sigewinne returned, the miracle had not occurred. She found a potion bottle and a note on the table. After using the potion as instructed, she gained her current form, breaking Fontaine's law in the process. And after I had confirmed the veracity of the events, I gave my verdict.
So that's what happened.
I fear Sigewinne only understood the full story after the truth about the dissolution of Fontanians was uncovered. When I reflected on all this with that knowledge in hand, I felt a deep sense of regret. After the final details of the events surrounding Sigewinne's transformation came to light, I checked several sources and, thankfully...
Wonder how she feels about it.
Since she invited you here, I imagine she intends to speak of these matters with you, no?
You're here. The old friend I mentioned was my teacher. When she passed, her body was nowhere to be found. All that's left of her is an empty tomb. And even that's deep underwater now.
Sigewinne, the witch who gave you the magic potion, she was your teacher, wasn't she?
Sounds like Monsieur Neuvillette filled you.
After learning the truth...
Well, to be honest, after I realized what really happened that night...
But she was planning to sacrifice herself and never told you.
That's just who she was. If lying is what it took to get a kid to take their medicine, then that's what she'd do.
Alright, but why did you turn yourself in?
I broke the law, simple as that. My teacher made her...
True. It's just... the way Potton framed it when he was asking you all those questions. You're not like him at all, and everything Neuvillette said confirms that. And yet, you were still convicted and thrown in prison. It's just...
unfair? I happen to think just the opposite. If I hadn't served that time, I'm not sure I would have been able to stay strong when he was questioned.
What makes you say that?
I knew you'd be curious. Let me... The verdict came down. This Melusine is guilty. The Iudex defended the authority of Fontaine law, but he did not confiscate the Melusine's medical kit. And so, the fortress of Meripede gained a new little doctor. She still wore her hood and raincoat, even though it never rained in the fortress. Perhaps thanks to her human appearance, no one refused her treatment. She treated more and more patients, and her sentence grew ever shorter. Finally, the people of the fortress could not live without her, and though her sentence ended, she did not leave them either. Then one day, she received an invitation from the outside world. The location seemed familiar, and when she arrived, an old lady was waiting for her. She saw right through the Melusine's disguise, but didn't reveal it. Instead, she asked a question.
Tell me, why do you think you gained the respect of so many people, despite being a Melusine?
Because I look like a human?
It's been 50 years, Sigewinne, and you haven't aged a day. I think everyone knows you are not human. I finally found you, after all these years. I still remember, you know. It was you who saved me that night.
But how? I was no longer a Melusine by then.
Does it really matter if you're human or Melusine? I remember the warmth of your palm. It's quite unmistakable. And you know what? It hasn't changed one bit. You don't have to hide anymore, Sigewinne. These days, everyone wants to make friends with Melusines. And I think that it's all because of you. I'm sorry I couldn't say this until now, but thank you, Dr. Melusine.
Now that's an ending Paimon can get behind.
After hearing everything Paten said, I wanted to tell him that it didn't matter who he looked like on the outside. But it was too late. The warmth in his palm had already disappeared. I tried to treat him, but the roots of his problem had nothing to do with his fate. I understand.
Oh, it's nothing.
Oh, there's one more reason I invited you here. In order to restore the appearances of the face-swapping victims, the Marechaussee Phantom gave me special permission.
We don't need it.
Well, even if you chose to destroy it, I still thought I should give it to you.
Well, fair enough, but anyway, still, if this is the very last bottle in all of Teyvat, getting rid of it would feel like Melusine physiology wasn't affected by the Great Flood, right? So that means the potion should have a permanent effect on you. In that case, what do you say, Sigewinne? Ever thought about transforming back to the way you used to look? After all, from a Melusine point of view, Paimon bets Melusines look the cutest of all.
Paimon, after everything...
What was Paimon thinking? You made up your mind a long time ago.
Leave it to me.